there was a rock bottom in there. The guy that swam took a guy, like put him on here and just straight dropped him. It was wild.
I didn't see all that. I saw a handful of jokes and memes online before I ever saw the video.
You ever gotten into a fight?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, she's a scrapper. Can't you tell?
I don't know.
I'm scrappy. You don't know. You don't know.
No, I don't think you've ever gotten in a fight, have you? Yeah, you
no,
have.
no.
Wait a minute.
Really.
Wait a
No,
minute.
no,
Wait a
I
minute.
haven't.
What?
Okay,
No.
hold on.
Cut the camera.
She had to think there for a second. Nick, did you ever get into a brawl?
I've been punched in the face before. Once in a hockey fight. That was.
Yeah,
there was that.
Telling
one.
me about that.
And then there was once in high school where a guy just walked up to me, grabbed me. Evidently, I was talking to a girl he liked, and he was not having that. Punched me twice in the face, and I laughed at him because it didn't hurt that bad, but I did get like a black eye. And teacher's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, this kid punched me." He got suspended 3 days, like 3 days after it happened.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's scrappy out in New Jersey.
Hey man, you gotta scrap to survive. You gotta take a punch to the face.
That's right, man. No, I've never really been into
Taking a slap to the face. That's it.
Really?
Yeah. I've also slapped someone in the face.
Oh, Jerry.
Now, have you
Not that serious.
have you taken a furniture to someone's head?
Okay, so I have a really funny story to tell. So like when we were kids, my older brother's about 10 years older than me and 13 years older than my little brother. He would come home from college and he'd want to roughhouse with us. And so one day he's like, let's play like we're ninjas out in the backyard. So he grabbed, this is so redneck, but so he grabbed pool sticks, and him and my little brother is like kind of a brute. They were fighting like swords with the pool sticks, and my older brother tried to do this spinny move where he's like, ugh, and he turns around, and my little brother breaks the pool stick over his back. right in the middle of the backyard. He's like, oh,
That's
God.
hardcore.
Can I give you a story from my archives? My sister and my sister took, I think, Taekwondo or one of those. And I go, all right, show me what you got. Like, square it up with her. And she looks at me like this, and she feigns a punch, feigns a kick, and just slaps me and walks away and goes, don't ever make me do that again.
Sounds like a sister to me.
Yeah.
My cousin and I, it's this weird thing. You lay like parallel to each other with your heads at opposite ends, and you hook legs and you try to see who can flip the other one over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we used to do that all the time.
Hey, let me just say, we don't endorse violence on this program, but we sure love watching it.
and evidently taking part of it.
That thing is like, I don't know. I kind of like whenever these videos pop up, I'm like, yes, inject it into my veins. I need more of this.
I don't like watching people fight because it just makes me nervous.
I love it. Have you guys seen the slapping league, the international slapping league?
Yeah.
Oh my, yeah, I have. I think
love
you
those
showed
videos.
it to me.
Yeah, I know. I got obsessed for like a brief period of time.
Yeah.
It's like a off branch of MMA where they just like literally just smack the crap out of each other.
They're just
for
so
fun.
pink and red after it and swollen.
I was like, oh, that does not seem like a fun idea. No, thank you.
But you know what? I did used to do that in school. Not like to the face, but we used to like.
Oh, the hand
hands-
slapping. Yeah. I remember doing that too.
But we'd be like bruised, completely bruised.
Kids are so stupid.
I know.
I mean, like,
I'd still do it though if somebody asked.
I was about to say, not much has changed as we've
I
gotten
know.
older either.
yeah, I don't know. I still like to do stupid things.
Same.
So, we'll see how that kind of all plays out. Natalie, I want to talk about Chat GPT.
Okay.
Because AI has been such a fascinating, interesting thing to enter our lives in 2023. But it's starting to shake up college.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting. I'm also kind of like intrigued by AI because I do feel like it poses a lot of threat, but it also poses a lot of, it can be a tool or a crutch. Or, either way. But basically, it's kind of affecting universities. So 51% of college students think using AI like Chat GPT doesn't count as cheating. And about 20% of college students have done it. And that's from a survey that I found on Forbes. It's from Best Colleges. But there are different schools taking different approaches. Some schools are saying you're not allowed to use AI. If you do, it's considered cheating. Some schools are even going back to paper tests because they don't want anybody to have the opportunity to use Chat GPT. And they're doing things like asking you to write about yourself so that you can't forge it and fake it. But there's this one professor out of the University of Pennsylvania who's actually requiring his students to use Chat GPT. He has added AI into his syllabus about how to cite it, how to do this, how to do that. And he just says they're going to use it anyway.
Exactly.
So I might as well just teach them the proper way to use it. So it's kind of just a debate. Is it cheating? Is it not?
Well, it's not going to go away, you know? So
That's true.
You got to figure it out. This is something that's going to continue to affect pretty much every industry eventually. So you might as well get ahead of it. You might as well equip these students with the early tools to get ahead, because the thing is if you let these kids out of school and they know how to utilize AI, they're entering a workforce where nobody else knows how to use AI. So they've automatically got a foot up on their competition.
But remember something, it's also what artificial intelligence is telling us what it thinks a human would say. The problem is it gets a lot of things wrong. There was the article I was reading about, Men's Journal had AI write an article on maybe testosterone or something, and it got like half of the stuff wrong. And it's one of those things where, yeah, you're right. Like kids can use Chat GPT, but if it's giving you the wrong information, it's not helping. And the one thing that you always have to go back is go ahead and look at the source material and understand the source material. And kids, today, myself included, are going to skip that step. They're going to go, hey, you know what? I could just have this write a 500-page essay rather than something like, hey, how do I turn X concept into written word? You know, like, can you write this sentence less formal?
Well, I think you got to get creative too. If you don't want kids writing the papers completely on Chat GPT, there are other options. And I always thought like papers in general in school were not very helpful learning tools.
Really?
I never thought so.
I loved writing papers. I loved writing essays.
Awful. I mean, I would much rather, I felt like it was more effective for me to get up in front of a classroom and teach other people about a subject.
I think that's why you're an anchor and I'm a producer. I did not like doing that.
I straddled both. You know what? I see the logic from your side. I also see the logic on your side. I think it comes down to mastery of the subject, which is, again, my point is, I have to know what the subject is. There was a person who literally took a court brief, and he took it and said, make it into English plain speak. And it was 15 pages, and it turned it into 1 page. And the average person could understand it. Imagine ChatGPT for a contract for a TV or a cell phone.
Yeah.
That's going to be useful for people to be like, yeah, I don't agree with that clause. But at the same point, you have to understand the clause itself, too.
I think if you have open, honest conversations with students about what's appropriate utilization of it and what's not, I think most kids will have that understanding and meet you halfway, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing is like the classes the kids are probably using this on are their stupid gen eds that nobody should have to take anyways. You know, like think about that. Like I was like a journalism student. And I'm like, they forced me to take psychology. It's like, why? Who cares? You know, I could tell which people are crackheads. So.
I really liked it. Okay.
Wow. So you're saying you're not a fan of Carl Jung? Is that what's going on?
What?
Young.
Jeez.
Okay.
Nick, botched the reference.
I think maybe I'm messing it up. I really liked school in general, so I didn't mind taking gen eds. But yeah, I do think they were kind of like, I did my compulsory school. Let me get into what I actually want to study.
Yeah, I always knew what my passion was from the onset, so I felt like every gen ed was a waste of my time.
Did you really know?
I went in wanting to be a TV news reporter my freshman year, dove right in, and didn't look back. Yeah,
I got you beat by about 10 years. I want to be a meteorologist since I was year 8.
Really?
Meanwhile, yeah. Like I was probably 8 years old.
Yeah,
kind of crazy.
And now you're stuck with us.
I started this job 2.5 years ago, and I knew I wanted to be a producer about 2.5 years ago.
And that's the thing is everybody's a little bit different. The gen eds, they want you to have a well-rounded education.
Mm-hmm. And I get it, but I also feel like you're an adult. You're 18 if you're going to college usually, and you've done 12 years of compulsory school.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I probably would have used ChatGPT to write a lot of paper.
I would not. I was such a nervous person.
No, I would have been like, yeah, let's get through this. That's why I took mostly online classes, because we could all sit around in a circle and get the same answer.
That's so funny.
I was a bad student. My mom, who was a teacher, would be very disappointed, and she may still be.
When you guys were in school, did you have the plagiarism checkers? So
College, I did.
Yeah,
They
'Cause
just come out.
Our teachers would feed our papers into a site that would then highlight anything that we saw that was like pulled from something. So sometimes it would highlight quotes if you were directly quoting.
Oh yeah, I'd never be dumb enough to try
But-
that. I mean, I'm talking like multiple.
Oh no!
choice.
Yeah.
Let's just say it this way: I went to undergrad and I did a group project with another person who happens to be a chief meteorologist at a station. I'm not going to say where or what or who. That person pulled quotes directly from Wikipedia, and I didn't catch it because I said this was the person's part, not mine. Told the teacher, I said I had some questions, but I just found it on this. And he goes, well, I should give you a 0. I go, look, you give me a 0, we're going to have problems. I got my stuff done. I was waiting to the last minute. This person obviously didn't care. Not much I could do. But I can imagine now going, it didn't seem like that person's writing. It was Chat GPT. It's just different technology. Like I said, there was Wikipedia for our generation. Now it's going to be AI.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not in school anymore.
Yeah.
The teachers are too.
Yeah, they are. They are. I was not a good student. And let's shift gears now to Kings Island, because exciting stuff there. I know we're all grown adults, but Camp Snoopy.
Okay.
Debatable.
Camp Snoopy is expanding at Kings Island, and they're adding a new roller coaster over there, trying to improve the experience for kids. I remember going to Kings Island when I was a kid, and their kiddie world. They had the Beastie, which was the smaller roller coaster.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, it was fun to go on. So I wanted to take this opportunity. I know, Nick, you didn't grow up around here going to Kings Island, but you did have, Busch Gardens?
Great. My family used to take vacations, so Busch Gardens. I did Wet and Wild USA. I did a bunch, but I actually was near Six Flags Great Adventure. So, every once in a while I do a roller coaster. I was not a huge roller coaster kid. It took until probably I was 12 or 13. And I was like, I'm going to go on a big one. My mom's like, all right, you got to go yourself because I'm not going on it. Your dad gets motion sickness and my sister's too small. So it was literally like me in line for 2 hours just around a bunch of adults.
What's your favorite memory? Do you guys have core memories from when you were a kid going to amusement parks?
Yeah. I remember the first time I did Drop Zone. It was also
God.
the last time I ever did Drop Zone.
That thing's scary.
That thing is very scary. I remember I loved the Beast. I remember going on the Vortex right before they closed it down because that one just had the loops. I was such an adrenaline junkie as a kid. I still am. I will go on the biggest, scariest roller coasters. I love it. But my husband gets motion sickness, so I have to go with friends. But
Yeah.
What's yours?
I always loved the Beast as well. That's quite. I mean, now as an adult, it's a little more rough on my back.
Yeah, it gives me headaches now.
Yeah. But I mean, it is a ton of fun. I remember going. I'm trying to remember. The theme was Hanna-Barbera Land when I was going to Kings Island as a kid. It was all those characters like Yogi Bear and
Jetsons.
Stuff like that. And that's because the Hanna-Barbera family actually owned Kings Island at one point. So that was kind of like their theme park. But I don't know. I remember going to Disney World, of course, and MGM when I was 10. And I remember the live Indiana Jones action shows and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I went on the Tomb Raider before they made it lame.
I was the memory I had.
Don't you remember? They changed it. It used to be Tomb Raider and
That was after I went.
Oh,
I went
okay.
in 97, I think.
You forget we're
Kings
old
Island?
here, Natalie.
Oh no, Kings Island. Oh, the
Yeah.
Tomb. Oh,
the Tomb Raider.
Which
So
one
it
was
used to
the
be
Tomb
really cool. It would take you in this room and it would flip you upside down and be hellfire, and it was just water with orange coloring, and then it'd flip you up and it'd be heaven and all of that. And it was really, really cool. And then they took all of the special effects out, and you just sat in a dark room and spun around, and it was just lame. They changed it. They took all of it out.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, but it was really fun. And when I grew up, the little world, it was Nickelodeon, so there was SpongeBob themed stuff.
Yeah, it really just depends on who owns the park at that time,
But it's so formative to my youth.
Yeah, because it's now Cedar Fair, and I think they've had a lot of Snoopy stuff up in Cedar Point. Have you been to Cedar Point yet? Dude, you got to get out. It's fun. But you don't like roller coasters, eh?
Don't like roller coasters,
Love
and
them.
I'd rather hang out in the backyard with my dog. I get enough getting thrown through the spin cycle trying to catch up with her, and she'll run me over and trip me up.
Bro, I get that. All right, shifting now to our second story here. Nick, School bus?
Yeah, so this is a kind of crazy story and brings me back to my youth. So I believe it's out of the Louisville area in Kentucky. Spent $200,000 to come up with new bus routes, and the result is kids getting home at 10 p.m., having to cancel part of the first week of school because they literally were not able to get those kids around. Brought up the reference when I was in middle school of us taking the after school bus. So you had your regular buses and then you had a few after school, and you'd hand the piece of paper to the bus driver and say, here's where I live. And they would sit there and they would fill out the order. Well, for whatever reason, no one could figure out where I lived. I lived across the street from the high school, literally 20 minutes down the road with wall-to-wall traffic, 10 minutes if you're being nice. There was once it took me 2.5 hours to get home. It was I'm like,
how livid was your mom?
She was just like, I was about to call the school. Don't forget, age before cell phones. So it wasn't like, hey, I'm still on the bus. I don't know when I'm getting home. It was literally they're going, where is he? Like, what's going on? And this happened multiple times to the point where my parents were just like, I'm going to pick you up.
Put his face on a milk carton. We've lost little Nick.
No, it was more like they were throwing a party and they go, oh, we got to take down the banners now.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, we got rid of him. Dang, we got lucky there. But yeah, I mean, what was your worst bus story? You never took the bus, did you?
No. So that's the thing is like,
ooh, too good for buses.
Well, I mean, like when I was a kid in elementary school, my mom would drop us off because it wasn't that far from the house, and then I'd walk home. Mm-hmm. And then when it came to middle school, my mom was a teacher at my middle school, so I just rode with her. And then in high school, I was always a year ahead, so at the end of my freshman year, I had my driver's license.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, like pretty much, first part of the freshman year, I walked, but after that, I was driving every day. So, I mean, I never had to...
Kind of lucked out.
Yeah. I mean, I went on field trips on the bus, didn't particularly care for it because, sometimes you get stuck sitting next to the kids you don't want to sit next to.
Yeah, they did that too with you.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I don't know. Did you?
My school district cut a whole bunch of our busing. They cut the number of buses in half, I want to say. So it was my school was maybe a 10-minute drive from where I was, or even less when I was younger. But because of the way the bus routes would have to work and how many extra kids they would have to pick up in the radius, it would have taken me 2 hours to go home. So when they cut the buses, my parents started driving me. And then when I got my license, I drove myself, or I had friends pick me up before I got my license. But yeah, I did have a friend though who fell asleep on the bus when she was 8, in the very back. And didn't she got the bus driver was doing the end where they go and check all the seats at the bus yard, where they were parked. It was hours later, and she woke up and she was crying.
Imagine how
of course she's 8.
If you're a bus driver, that's gonna be mortifying.
Yeah, they immediately she was like, I need to call your parents. What's your phone number? But she didn't have a phone. We were 8.
And I remember bus drivers who were new to my route missing the stop, and you'd see them and you missed the stop. We're back there 10 minutes ago. I was just really nervous. I thought you were just...
I was nervous.
I thought you were just going to do a U or something.
Yeah, kids aren't going to speak
You
up.
said that you had to hand a piece of paper to the bus driver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
all of that was online for us.
Well,
and they planned the routes.
Well, I think mine was just coming up, and that was at one school. At another school, they would just send, okay, this is the town that you go in. And my town was kind of sprawling. So one of them would be they would go up to the border, and I lived in the center of town. So often I would be the last one. And I remember one bus getting me home 2 hours late. Like I said, I'd leave school at 2, 3, 4 p.m. And I wouldn't get home sometimes till 5 or 6. And my parents are like, hey, dinner's getting cold. You might want to eat that.
Poor little Nick.
I did almost get stuck on the interstate on a bus.
Oh, God.
We had a school bus trip, an hour and a half north. Bus breaks down, so all the kids had to... we either had to transfer or they had to transfer. Then we got stuck in traffic. It's 90, 95, no air conditioning, double stuffed with kids. Yeah, that was a miserable ride home.
Clearly, Nick wanted to do a trauma dump today about his busing experiences.
And another thing.
Let me get this off my chest. Is this therapy? Well, from buses to bears, oh my.
Oh my. Yeah, so at a Chinese zoo, a Malayan sun bear named Angela is making headlines.
Hi,
I don't
Angela.
know. I don't know why her name is Angela, but whatever.
It's amazing.
She was standing on her hind legs, and people immediately started assuming that's a man in a bear costume.
Oh, yes. I love this. Yeah, this was bizarre.
So Malayan sun bears, first of all, sun bears, if you don't know what a sun bear looks like, a lot of people just think they're black bears. They are like black bears' goofy cousins. They are so silly looking. Their tongues are so long. Their heads are weird.
They had a flat
They're
little
great.
butt when it stood
Yeah.
up.
I was about to
Flat
say,
little butts with the wrinkles.
they're no butt having bears.
Yeah. But the zoo actually posted as the bear and said, "I'm Angela the sun bear. I got a call after work yesterday from the head of the zoo asking if I was being lazy and skipped work and found a human to take my place. Let me reiterate again. I'm a sun bear, not a black bear, not a dog, a sun bear." But there is some merit for the reason that people thought that this was a human in a bear costume. A Chinese zoo in 2013 tried to pass off a Tibetan Mastiff, a dog, as a lion. And, but,
Of course.
but of course, like when the lion starts barking, people know what's up.
It's just a little bit hoarse today. It's barking at me. It just rolled over and wanted its belly rubbed. What's going on?
But yeah, so like it's not the first time that a Chinese zoo would try to pull something.
That'd be amazing. I totally get. Well, the neck, the coloring on the neck, I think is what did it for this bear.
Yeah.
This is like a tan around, so it looks like right under the mouth there could be like an eye
Like
hole type
yeah.
of thing because it's dark there.
Yeah, and it was so wrinkly, and the butt was just so flat on this bear.
What do you believe?
I believe it was a sun bear. I love sun bears. They're so goofy.
London actually sent a picture of their bear doing the same exact bear behaviors. They're like, nope, this is what a sun bear looks like. It's the smallest bear. And yes, it does look like, it has no butt whatsoever. Lucky that thing.
The memes, though, were out of control.
You're basically a bear. You stand at the corner of our desk
And scratch.
and scratch your back against
And
it.
the sounds.
Just like this bear.
Oh, it's okay because like when I yawn, I allow like a type.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a yawn just thinking about it.
I've never.
Sometimes I see you in the newsroom and I'm like observing you in your natural habitat.
Well, my son makes fun of me. He goes, he's like, "Daddy's a bear," and I'm like, "Thanks, kid."
You ever notice
So
there
you
are
should
no
understand.
picnic baskets around, Nathan? Just throwing it down.
Not your
I like
average
a
bear.
picnic basket. Bobo. All right. Now on to my final story today. Subway, eat fresh. Guess what? They did a contest where
Oh, God.
they offered up like lifetime supply of free sandwiches if you change your name to Subway. 10,000 people changed their name to Subway, and only one person can win. So, and like they'll pay for your legal fees, like $750
Yeah.
that it costs to change your name, and they'll also pay for, all your sub sandwiches. Like, why would anybody do this?
I'm so angry about this story for multiple reasons. First of all, Andy and I, our executive producer, crunched the numbers. It was like $50,000 of Subway or something like that. If you get a sub like every day, or if you spend like $10 a day at Subway, it's like something about like 13 years. First of all, not a lifetime supply. Second of all, the stress of having to change your your social security, like to say Subway. Like, that's ridiculous.
Subway Cooper?
Subway Cooper, that's me.
Subway Marusiak?
That's what they
Subway
call me.
Edwards?
just doesn't have a ring to
I'm
it.
telling you, how many of those people you think are in Florida?
At least,
60%.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Dayton strikes me as a place that might have a Subway.
There's one or two Subways in
Yeah,
Dayton.
Yeah.
Well, think about this, though. You're talking about Subway. It's not even, all respect, Subway, good sub.
Well, you're a Jersey guy, so you're probably Jersey Mike's all the way.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just the superior sandwich shop.
I mean, it is better, but
The Big Kahuna. Have you had it? It's good.
not the Big Kahuna.
It's good.
That
Get
sounds
it.
good.
Add the Chipotle mayo. Thank me later.
Jersey Mike Marusiak sounds a little bit more.
Jersey Mike
nah.
Marusiak.
that would actually be closer to my mom. Her nickname is Mike, and so Jersey Mike Marusiak, yep, that would be my mom. And actually, that would probably be like one of our nicknames.
I like that.
I dig it, yeah. But Subway, hard pass. There are not enough cold cut trios to get me through the world to do that.
No, there's not enough.
And
Subway's
that's-
just not worth it.
That's the other thing, is that like footlongs, or are we talking like the 6 inches? Because if it's footlongs, okay, I could stretch one of those.
Apparently
I
it
think
says-
they just give you gift cards, don't they?
That's so lame.
They like give you like $50,000.
They should give you like
cards. I'd be
they
making
should give
it
you
rain.
like a gold card, a platinum card that
Like
says
the one from
Subway
like
Edwards.
the one
Heavy
from
metal.
like Happy Gilmore. Here's the card where I could eat forever at Subway.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
people are so bored these days that they'll do anything. So I don't know. All right, now on to love hate. Nick, what's your love for the week?
Voyager 2, which went up 70s, has been floating in space. It's one of only 2 things that have ever been outside the solar system. Well, NASA had a whoopsie where they gave it a directions to go this direction. One problem. They lost signal to it.
Oh, no.
So they had about 10, 15 minutes over the last week where they could send a signal to it to say, hey, go back this way so we can keep talking to you.
Oh my gosh.
And they got it. It is back. It took, I think they said 18 and a half hours to send the message, 18 and a half hours to figure out, yep, it heard it and it's on its way. NASA back in
crazy.
touch. And think about that is you're talking about better part of a day. It's like, all right, well, we sent the message. Let's see if it works.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing, this technology.
Yeah.
And think about it. It's been in space now, what, 30? No, wow. It's, 1970s. And I'm going, 30 years. No, it's now like 50 years. They expect it to basically lose some functionality in 2025. So it's coming up into lifespan, but still, you want to kind of see how long we can keep in touch with it.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. What's your hate?
You know, I obviously, well, how
School
long
buses.
No,
It's school buses.
no, this has been a rant that I've had for a long time now. It's not enjoying the season we're in. I like summer. I want it to be summer.
Here we
I
go.
hate the fall talk now. I also hate the Christmas talk in October or before Thanksgiving. I'm very much this is where I want things to be. The only time I will accept it is where it's winter and we talk about spring, then I'll accept it.
We found a compromise. Instead of just a straight pumpkin spice latte, we'll get you an iced one. Then enjoy the season.
There you go.
Oh man, I see fury in his eyes.
Just disappointment, Nathan.
Just disappointment. Natalie, your love?
My love is that I made it back to the ceramic studio for the first time in forever. I'm not very good at it, but I took a class. But I had to, after the class ended, I went on vacation and just life got in the way. So I haven't been back for a while. But I actually sat down for 3 hours yesterday and tried to throw bowls and cups and stuff like that. And it was just really fun being back in the studio at at Rosewood Arts Center. They have the best ceramic studio. It just got remodeled. It's beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You have a lot of misshapen mugs in your house?
I do.
Yeah.
Wonky mugs, lopsided stuff. And of course, my husband, the artist, when we took the class together, was immediately making like perfect, like, oh, this one's for creamer. Like, okay.
Okay. Good
Yeah.
job, hubby.
Good job.
What about your hate?
My hate is that I was kind of sick earlier this week, and I'm still kind of feeling it in my throat.
Wow. Thanks
That's
for
it.
spreading that in here. My love of the week would have to be I had vacation. I just got back from
Yes.
vacation. And my oldest son, Hudson, we were out fishing. He caught his first ever fish.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Not only did he catch one, he caught 8.
8.
8 fish while we were out.
How many did you put on the line for him?
Well, we kept some. Between the 3 of us, we kept 12. And he held up the little thing. And he was pulling it up so hard. But
Was
now
it like a big fish?
they were just rock bass. But he did catch a pretty good sized smallmouth bass that he was able to reel in. And he was really into it. Now he's been watching YouTube videos like crazy.
Aw.
And he's asking me to take him out fishing every day.
Oh, that's so sweet.
we're gonna set up a trip with my dad coming up next weekend, and it should be a good time. But something new, exciting.
That's so sweet that
Yeah.
he's like found this passion for it.
Oh yeah, it's great. And his little face when he pulled in that first fish was something.
If you ever need like a crazy person to go along with, I could just like disappear on the other end of the dock. I like
And
to
do
fish.
what?
I like to fish.
I like fishing. My hate is summer break for kids is almost over. So like my oldest son, he goes back to school Wednesday. Dayton Public Schools goes back on Monday. I know it's not the end of summer, but it is a sign that fall is coming. I know Nick's very much against that, but I feel like once school starts, things just really go fast until
Yeah.
after Christmas, and then you're like in the holding pattern of the terrible season of January to April. So
Yeah. I don't like spring.
spring in Ohio is a little rough.
Spring in Ohio is basically just winter too.
It's just a
like,
tease.
It is tease, yeah.
It's just muddy and wet usually. Actually, this past spring was kind of mild, but
Hey, you know what? Let's hope that we can enjoy these final days of summer. We appreciate everybody stopping by and joining us on Your Day Extra. Of course, subscribe on all podcast providers. We'll be back here next Friday. I'm Nathan Edwards. This is Nick